Hi everybody, it's me, Carrie, your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Farmington Hills, Michigan. I am getting my tablet ready so I can see if any of you pop on. So today, sorry, I'm kind of a mess today. Like every day, right? You're like, oh, what's different, Carrie? Not a thing. Everything is the same. Sorry. Okay, so hello. Today I am going to show you some product from the new mini catalog. I like to hold off and not show that too soon because you can't order it until the 6th. So as fun as sneak peeks are, they're kind of like, you know, I'd rather just show you when it's a little closer. So since we're only a few days away, you'll be able to order from this on Wednesday the 6th. I thought I'd go ahead and do one today. And because of my event, I'm a little scattered. So normally I would like to pre-record my Saturday sips, but not this week. We are live. So I hope you will comment, say hello, let me know what's going on in your world. Okay, so we're going to start with this paper. This is called A Walk in the Forest. Here's the thing about this paper, which is the most important thing. Pretty, yes, it's pretty. Let me get to where you can see full sheets of it. It is pretty, all right? But the thing about this paper is that it is $3 of it, so it's $12. So $3 of it is going to local charities. Now, there is a list. I'll be able to post that later, but they were kind of vague in the description in the catalog. Let me see if I can, let me read it to you without showing it to you. It says, "'Tis the season to be giving, and we're inviting the Stampin' Up! Community to help us make holidays merry and bright for everyone. With each purchase of the Walk in the Forest Designer Series paper, we'll donate $3 to support organizations dedicated to spreading cheer and providing support to those in need. We hope you'll join us in making a difference this holiday season." So, normally when they have some kind of a charity thing, they tell you the charity, but they literally, we're international now, so they're going to be doing them by where the items are purchased. So if you're in the United States, there's going to be a variety of charities that they donate to. How local that will be, like, is there one in Michigan? I don't know. But like, it's nice because if you're in the United States, you're supporting the United States. If you're in Europe, you're doing Europe. So it's pretty cool. So, so it's $3. I mean, that's a pretty good percentage, right? It's like 25%. So, I mean, it's exactly 25%. Anyway, this is the beautiful paper that is there. Great holiday themes. This can be used with the Bear Punch, by the way, that is in the mini catalog. We're going to be using this paper and, let's see, this one. Oh, and this one. And there's another one. I think I cut it all up. This one, which is different than the other bear paper, which is different from this one. Can you see the difference? So, those are what I will be using today. Again, this is the Walk in the Park paper, and it's hard to find. When you first open the catalog, it's like you open it, it's up in this corner. So I don't want you to miss it. Hi, Karen. I don't want you to miss it because it's a good cause and the paper is beautiful, and because of the way it's created, you can do Christmas or not Christmas with it depending on what side of the paper you use. So I know they're cute. Don't miss this, Karen. It's on it's in your new mini. So put a tag there. Okay, so I have a couple of things I'm going to do as I complete getting organized. I'm not kidding you guys. I took a COVID test when I came back from my Stampin' Up! Event because some people, I mean, you know, you get that many people around, it's it's a probability, right? But I tested negative, so I don't have COVID. But I've been very, very tired. So I think I caught a bug, or it's just travel. Travel wears me out sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to be using, it sounded like something fell, so hopefully I have everything I need. The Stars at Night in the catalog, it comes with, this is a bundle. This is a folder, which I'm going to tell you right now, the folder is on back order. How that happened, not back order, but not available right now, which I don't even want to, it's just frustrating the way the world is right now. But the dies are still available, and we're going to be using one of the dies. So this is the little die we're going to use right here. And we're going to be using this sentiment right here, wishing you the best and brightest holiday season. So we're going to be using that for our first card. We're also going to be using Cherry Cobbler and the Iridescent Rhinestone Basic Jewels. As you can see, I really like them because I have very few left in this pack. We're also going to be using, I don't want you to see the card yet. We're also going to be using, from the Timeless Arrangements bundle, I'm going to be using 2 of its dies. Okay? So I'm going to be using those 2 dies. So these are all the cool dies that come with this. And then, of course, a bazillion sentiments and some flowers and stuff. We're not going to be using anything else, just the dies from this bundle today. So there's where we are. I don't want you to see too much yet because it's going to be fun. You're also going to want a scrap of paper. Obviously, this is an old piece. You see, I use my grid paper until it's about to fall apart. And then I have some basic white. The thick basic white is going to be my card base for this one. I have 2 cards to show you today. So, and you know, I've always said when it's thick, score it first, which I did. And make sure that's good and scored. So there, I've got some Cherry Cobbler, which is going to be on there. I have a bunch of this striped paper, which I'm going to be using, and I don't want it to, there. I've got pieces different. They're the same. They're the exact same paper, you guys. I cut it 1 inch and then I cut it off. But I kind of, if you can see, let me see if I can get these even. This time, their cutting is a little bit off as far as where the pattern goes when I cut it in half. So I wanted to keep it separate for what I'm doing. So just trust me on that. So the first thing I am going to do, because this is a photopolymer set, I am using my foam mat, and I'm using the Cherry Cobbler ink, and I'm going to stamp this fun sentiment. I'm just going to put that right in the center. Wishing you the best and brightest holiday season. I just really like that. And that is going to get cut out with this die. And then I am going to cut out the 2 leaves. So let me grab my mini cut and emboss machine. I'll show you the original card that I made with this. That then I decided to do both of my cards with the same designer series paper. So you guys will understand that when you see it. So I love that I can do this on my mini, because the mini takes up so little space. I always have my big one available to my regular size cut and emboss machine. And I think I've told you guys this story before. Back when we sold the Big Shot, I had the Big Shot, and everybody was into those little purse-shaped ones, which Stampin' Up! Came out with for like a heartbeat. But I never wanted the small one. Then when the new ones came out, I bought the big one, and my friend said, you have to get the small one. You got it. Didn't want it. I am so glad I have both. You need both. I mean, if you're a beginner crafter, start with the small one, unless you're planning to do a lot of folders and things. But yeah, love, 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 love having the mini handy to just whip things out on my desk, and it doesn't take up a lot of space. So that's always really nice. Plus, when I'm making videos, it fits better on the screen, right? That is a ridiculous reason to buy the mini, just so you know. But it was a good excuse for me. Any excuse to buy more crafting supplies. Am I right? I mean, seriously, am I right? Somebody tell me I'm right. Okay. So now I have all of my pieces cut, and I can move my little mini, and I don't need that anymore either for now. All right. So now I have all of my pieces, and forgot to grab my take your pick tool. So I'm popping this out. Isn't this pretty? This is just so pretty. And this is made to actually go behind the sentiment pieces. If you look, this Timeless Arrangements bundle, this is in the main catalog, okay? But see, it's got these really nice little labels. So they're really cute for popping behind there, but I'm going to pop it behind this other label. Oops, did it wrong. Wondered why it didn't fit. So, and somebody asked me, where do I get those giant magnets? There's a couple of places. You can actually go and buy vent covers at your hardware store. You know, they're magnetized. They're not as strong. These are from, I think it's called Stamp and Storage. They're really good. Yes, Karen, you're right. There's absolutely always something to buy. And so much fun. So it's all worth it, right? All right, so now I have all of my pieces. I've got my little scrap. I've got my sentiment ready. I even have some ribbon. This is ribbon that's coming out in the next mini also. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to use it. I used something similar, but this is really pretty. Look how iridescent that is. Isn't it gorgeous? Love it. Not 100% sure yet if I'm going to use it, but I might. So I wanted to have it handy. All right, so I'm not going to put this together yet. I'm going to start with my scrap. Now, my scrap is cut smaller than 4 by 5 1/4 because that is what I'm going to end up with, but I didn't want it all glued down. So my scrap, not that it matters. My scrap is only, it's like 4 3/4 by like 3 and, I don't know, it looks like 5/8 or something. But it was just to get me started with my design. So what I'm going to do is I am going to weave this designer series paper. So simple, right? We've all done weaving when we were young, whether you were in Girl Scouts or if you were like me. Did anybody else buy those little looms that you could make kitchen pot holders with? Do you know what I'm talking about? They were like squares and you weaved. I used to love to do that, and my neighbors, bless their hearts, because you know those things are horrible for actually using as pot holders because the heat goes right through them. But my neighbors, who I adore, would always buy them from me for like $1/4. So it was my first entrepreneurial event. Okay, so now I have to decide which way these are going to go, and I think I'm going to go that way, which is how I had them. So I'm going to start in the corner here, in case you've never done weaving, and I'm gluing these 2 pieces together, and I'm using this as my template for trying to get a straight line. Okay, so I've glued it down under here, and I've glued this one to this one, but I don't want to glue everything, not yet. Okay, so I've got that. Then I'm going to take another one of these, okay, put some glue. I'm going to put glue on top this time, and I am going to put it underneath this one. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this. I am trying to line up my stripes right now. If you're not doing stripes, that's not really important. You don't have to worry about it, but I want to line up my stripes. So that, and I'm just going to, so bear with me. This is the time-consuming part, if you want to call it that. I think it's fun and relaxing. Nobody has said, but I'm going to guess that some of you have done weaving in the past. Well, that one does not look even. But I can trim it, right? That one is. Sometimes if you wet your finger and the adhesive hasn't completely stuck down yet. Ooh, I tore that one, darn it. Might be able to adjust it. Oh, that's why, because this is the one that needs adjusting under here. Okay, I can trim it down. Now, hopefully I haven't messed that up completely by tearing that off. Oh, I didn't. I hit it. Yay. Okay. And I'm just going to keep going until I have 5 rows of this first batch here. Nice and lined up. Definitely going to need to trim it because as I'm lining these up, it's not lining up here. So that's okay. So I now have 5 rows going vertically, portrait style, depending on how you look at it. There we go. So now I'm going to weave. So it gets, your brain's going to go a little crazy for a minute while you're watching me, but I know that this one is on top. If you're not sure, you can lift and see what you're doing. So now what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to put a little adhesive there, and then I'm taking the other side and I'm going to start weaving. This one is on top, so I'm going to go over it, under it, and over it. That's your basic weave in case you have not had the pleasure of making those fun things that I made as a child. And I am going to try to line these up with the ones above. But as you're weaving, you may find that they adjust themselves because when you're weaving, it takes more of the pattern. Now for this one, I have to put the adhesive on this side because it's going to go under this first piece. So I'll start on this side this time and set it up. And I'm lining it up with this center one here so I can get those stripes even though it's going to go under that one and under this one. But it gave me the opportunity to line them up. So you can see where I'm going. It makes a really cool basket weave, right? So I can't remember if I needed 4 or 5 rows of this, but that's okay. I will fake it and trim it because obviously I'm going to trim it down. This is way too big to fit on a card, right? So I know if you're like a little bored, like what is she doing? This is kind of boring, Carrie. Hang around because I have another card that I'm going to show you something to do with this designer series paper. So you're going to have 2 opportunities to watch me. I think that might be enough. Where did I put my ruler? Let me see. Yeah, it is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and I am going to glue my flaps down. Whoops, totally moved that one. So remember, I love liquid glue, but it does take a minute to dry. So be patient and wait for it. Then I'm going to flip it over and I want to glue these pieces down too, right here. Now that one is glued. Now I don't really need this piece here. So I'm going to pull it away because I don't need it and I can use it again. Or maybe I should recycle it. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's kind of, it's kind of been very useful, as you can see. Okay, so now I have all of these pieces ready. I think I've gone far enough this way. Just barely. Just barely. So, hopefully it's enough. All right, so now I'm going to take my paper trimmer and I am going to first start with trimming off and making sure that my edges are even, which they are not. I know they are not because of the way I was putting them on there. I could see it. So I'm going to cut all those little fringy pieces off. And then I'm going to flip it over so that I can get this side and do the same thing with this one. And I'm running it back and forth a couple of times to make sure that I get it completely cut through, because it's a couple layers and some adhesive. So now I have 2 perfectly straight corners, right? So now then I can go over here and I can trim this down to 5. And trim this one down to 3 3/4. And of course, you know, don't throw away your scraps because, you know, there's other uses. So now I have this fun little patchwork. So that now is going to go on top of the cherry cobbler, which of course, this is cherry cobbler. There's also real red in this. You're going to see that in the next project. Look, even this side is cute. I mean, it doesn't match up very well, but I'm going to glue that down because it's bugging me. Okay, now I'm going to make sure I give glue to all of these edges because I don't want them coming off later. Okay, odds are unlikely, but why take a chance? Now I'm going to center that onto my cherry cobbler for a nice pretty mat. Okay, there we go. Now, I think I am going to go ahead and I'm going to put a little bit of ribbon just across there. Nothing fancy, just a little bit. And definitely always suggest, and I do this all the time, and I'm going to show you the other card when I'm done with this one, that I did not do this sticky to hold down my ribbon. Hopefully you will not be able to tell, but I'll tell you what I had to do to make it work right. Because the liquid glue takes longer to dry, and so my ribbon kept wanting to shift. So I'm putting my ribbon in the center, and I know it's the center because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So right in here is my center. Are your eyes boggled yet, you guys? Have I like made your eyes go nutty? And then I put this iridescent, is this ribbon beautiful? This iridescent ribbon on there to wake you up just a little bit more. Happy Saturday. Anybody have big plans for this holiday? We are not doing anything really super fancy. We're going to go to, I'm going to pick up my son and we're going to go to my daughter's tomorrow just for a family dinner. Not really, we're not going to barbecue or anything, which is crazy. I don't know why we're not, but we're not. We're just going to hang out for a few hours because, you know, sometimes it seems like even though these kids live close, we also have a one of my stepsons lives in Kentucky, and we just don't see him or his family barely ever. So there we go. That's the front of my card. Now, here is the fun with these. So fun. Love it. I am going to put a little bit of adhesive on here, and I'm actually going to trim this down. Can y'all see where it looks like a bud of a leaf right there? I don't know how much of that yet is going to stick out, but I want to make sure this piece does not, because it's not really made for the piece I'm using, right? So I'm snipping it off so I still have the bud. I'm going to get that a little bit better. Hang on, in case it shows. Woo! My eyeballs. You know, the lights that I use right now are... My vision is very light sensitive. Hang on, I got to move it back here where I don't have so much light shining in my face. These lights can make me nuts. And y'all know I'm already crazy, so let's not give it any reason to be more so. But see, now I can take it and I can tilt it so that that bud can stick out a little bit. And I get a little bit more from it. Cute, right? And then this one, I'm just going to put a little bit, just a touch on this stem. There we go. And I'm going to have that one down here. Then I'm going to use dimensionals, of course. I got to grab some new ones or some from my other stash. And I'm going to make sure that this one stays. So I put a dimensional right over that one. And I'm doing that here and here. And then I'm going to use little halvesies in places. I could use minis. I just don't know where they are right now. So I'm going to put that one right there. And this one right there. Okay. So, I'm almost done. I am going to add some of those beautiful iridescent rhinestones also, which I think are going to look lovely with this ribbon because the ribbon is iridescent, so it's going to be very pretty. I'm not putting any glue on the leaves. You can if you want to, but I'm not. And then I'm just going to kind of center that on the ribbon. So there's the basic card, but it's the weaving that I think is interesting. And I'm going to show you another card where the weaving is more obvious. Although I think that, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you like this? I don't know. Because nobody's talking. So let me know what you think. And now I'm just going to add some of these pretty iridescent rhinestones to my card front. And we'll put that one right there. Just 3 little ones right there. You know, I like to work in uneven numbers. So there is that card. I can't see if anybody's commenting, but here is the original one that I did. This was done with some different designer series paper that is coming out. It is called, it's also in the mini. It's called The Joy of Christmas. So it has a lot of really pretty paper in it also. So I'm wondering why. Nope. Okay. So there is, if you guys want to take a quick screenshot, here, let me hold them up a little bit closer for you. So if you want to do a screenshot, this is just a woven designer series paper just for a fun background. I thought you guys would like it. Plus, I wanted to show off this designer series paper. So now we're going to do another card with the same designer series paper, only this time I'm going to be using the adhesive back star trinkets. They are part of the suite that includes the Oh Holy Night with the manger and the Starry Nights and the dies and folder. But like I said, the folder is currently not available, so I'm sorry for that. Let me see if I can clean up my mess just a tad here. Okay. All right, so this was the first, whoops, I have all the pieces in here. This is the first card that I did with this set, and I do not have the bear punch, but I cut him out. So if you like the bear but you don't want to invest in the bear punch or the bear stamp set, buy this DSP. You're promoting a charity and you're getting bears. Okay, probably plenty of bears to do whatever you want to do with the bears. And then this came out of the DSP, as did that. So, and the Tidings of Comfort and Joy, this is an online exclusive. It's a carryover. It was in last year's catalog, and then they moved it to the online store, so you can still get this. It's called Hope and Peace, so it's a really good stamp set. And this time I'm going to use Night of Navy ink. On this one I used Shaded Spruce, I think. Might be Old Olive. It might be Old Olive. So this tree has white in the background. So here it is. So I'm going to show you what I did to get that green. And I forgot to grab that ink. So I'm going to use the Old Olive because it's an Old Olive tree. And another messy scrap. Okay. So I actually did this one before I cut it out, but I didn't want you guys to watch me fussy cut, because I don't like to watch me fussy cut. It's boring, okay? So I'm just going to take the old olive and I'm going to start off of the tree, and I'm just adding some extra color to it. You can add as much or as little as you want. And there, now I have a completely green tree. Okay? All right. All right, so hopefully I'm not going to get green everywhere, because I did get it on me. So hopefully not. So again, taking basic white, again, pre-scored. You know where the lump is from when you score. You score in and it dents it down. This is the outside of the fold. The inside is where the bumpy is. That's how you want to fold it. It will fold nicer and neater. It seems backwards, but it is correct. Okay, I have lots of scraps over here from that last card. Okay, so then I fussy cut out the tree. I'm going to use this tree instead of the bear this time. And I fussy cut out these little trees. If you're not a fussy cutter, buy the bear punch. That's all I can say. All right, so I wrote down these measurements. So let me see if I have them all. So I have Night of Navy for some of the background. All right. And then I have 2 different sizes of the Designer Series paper, some basic white, and another Night of Navy. This is 1.5 by 2.5, and then the Night of Navy is 1 3/4 by 2 3/4. That's simple enough, right? The little ones here are 1 by 3 7/8. 1 by 3 7/8, the longer ones. Excuse me. These are 1 by 2 5/8, and then the Night of Navy is 1 1/8 by 4 and 2 and 1 1/8 by 2 3/4. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you guys. All right, so now I am going to just take the Tidings of Comfort and Joy, and I'm going to stamp it onto this little piece of basic white. There we go. Easy peasy. And that's all the stamping we're doing. Yes, that's all. I know, right? That's like almost nothing. Then we're just going to start building our card. So again, it's all going to be a matter of matting. I like the way the Night of Navy really is. It stands out on the basic white. And there is Night of Navy, as you can see in this tree. It is in the Designer Series paper, which is why I chose it to be the one that I wanted to use. Because I knew that I didn't want to use the blue or the green, because it would kind of fade into the other color of the Designer Series paper. Now this one, I'm not real sure if you guys can see it on such a small piece, but it's actually trees. So when you put this one on, if you use it, pay attention to your Designer Series paper, so you know what way your trees are supposed to be growing, because you don't want your trees to grow upside down. That's a bummer. Although I have you seen the thing where people they hang their trees from the ceiling upside down so that their cats or their little kids don't mess with the tree? It always makes me laugh when I see that. And I'm not so sure I'd want to put a hole in my ceiling just to hang my Christmas tree. But that's just me. Okay. So I've got those. Now I just have to do these other 2. And then we can start putting the card together. I love this color blue. I'm going to have to look. I think it is balmy blue that is listed on the designer series paper, but I don't know that for sure, honestly. Catalog is new. I don't know everything. And the truth is, even when the catalog is old, I don't know everything. All right. So now, here is where the fun begins. We're going to start in one corner. If I've done this a few times now over my career. Oh, yeah. That's sweet. My cat always looked at it. I don't think I ever had... Oh, no, that's not true. When my kids were little, we had a little cat, and I never saw her climb the tree. But Christmas morning, so here's the tree. Okay, here's my kids, and they're little. They're little. And she climbed up in the tree. Nobody noticed her, and all of a sudden the tree fell right in between my kids. Like, right in between them. And we all just went, what the heck? So she pretty much destroyed the tree. So I was a single mother at the time. So when my children went to visit their father Christmas Day after we had Christmas morning, I ended up taking the tree down. I felt like such a bah humbug, but that's what I did. So again, make sure your trees are going the way you want them to. And just watch your spacing. This is where I would say perfection is a little bit more important than I would normally recommend, because if you're all cattywampus, it is going to show. So you do want to try and be a little more careful. And honestly, more than this piece, because see, these are not like perfect, but I am watching the outer line of these for where they're going to go. And I'm lining them up here, and then hopefully lining it up here. I am, yay. Okay, so on this one, everything is laying flat, but I think on this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put this one up on dimensionals, and let's see what happens, because I don't necessarily like to put dimensions on the back of designer series paper because it is thin, but you know, let's be brave. Let's go out there and be nuts. We'll see what happens. I think, though, I may have just come up with a plan. Let me see if I like it. I shouldn't have taken those off first. I might... Yep, I'm going to glue this big one down because it's the one I'm most worried about flip-flopping, because it is DSP. Set that one right there. Scoot it over as far as I can. There we go. Now I'm going to put that over the top of it. So it makes it a little bit different than the first card, right? So this one barely has any edge to it. So I'm going to eyeball, because I don't feel like grabbing my trimmer. And I'm going to trim it even tighter. And this is just something I just play with and hope I don't like make a big mess. You know, like keep cutting and all of a sudden you don't have any trim. So this is not working out as well as I would like, you guys. Oh, silly Carrie. But hey, that is how it goes. When you watch me, you get a real person. All right, that gave me just a little bit more of a white edge to things, which I like. All right, now this one, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pop this one up. Okay, so I know that this part is going to need to be glued down, so I don't want any dimensionals there, but I'm going to put a few dimensionals on it, and then I'm going to take an edge, I think. Let's see what I can do here. Oh, I know what I'm going to grab. Hang on. I got them in here. I'm going to grab these and hope that they are the same height. They are. And I'm going to put that one along this side of this tree. Then just a smidge of glue right there. But that really is a smidge, isn't it? Where is my take your pick tool when you need it? Okay. Put that there. So now that tree is popped up. That one is not. And then these little guys, I'm not popping them up. I'm going to just go ahead and adhere them up here. Just because I thought that looked a little boring without anything on it. So let me let that pop underneath there. Okay. And now I'm going to add some of these pretty stars. Put the big one on top of this tree. Okay, stay. And then I will put a little one on top of this tree. And I'm not sure how well it's going to want to stay there because I've got it up. So I'm going to slide it down a little bit more into the tree. I'm kind of winging this. Can you guys tell? There goes Carrie again. So I've got the two. I know I always say always do 3, but I'm not going to put another one on there. I'm just going to do the 2 on the trees. So there you go. Let me hold these up for you if you are into screenshotting. And then I'll grab the other 2 so you can see all of them together. So fun, right? Oh, so fun. Love this paper, you guys. So here's the other one that's made with that same designer series paper. The Walk in the Forest. $12. 3 of it's going to go to charity. So yay. And then, yes, I will always have those memories. I think my kids were traumatized for about 5 minutes, but they got over it. Okay, you guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Please share my video. I really appreciate it when you do that. If you are watching this on volume or YouTube, please remember to come follow me over on facebook.com/MemoryInkers. That's also where you shop, MemoryInkers.com. Email me at memoryinkers@gmail.com. I will have a new hostess code on the 6th. If you want to order now, please feel free. Don't wait for my hostess code. But if you want to order new stuff, wait to the 6th. Okay. Thank you, Karen. You have a great Labor Day also. I hope everyone has a wonderful holiday weekend. And I will see you back here on Tuesday for Tiny Tip Tuesday. Have a blessed and wonderful day. Bye-bye.